Hey, what's up everybody? So today I am doing a YouTube video on the John Deere tractor that we have. It's the e120 series, a 2019 model. And we are experiencing a little bit of a problem, once again, with the deck level arm mechanism. So today I'm just going to show you how to fix that problem with it not going up and down correctly, and also quick tip on how to manage this little device right here called the gas tank level. So that's what my video is going to be about today, and I'm going to show you step by step how to take this all apart to get to the little bracket that needs to be replaced so that we can get the lawnmower to operate correctly. So with this whole mechanism that I'm doing today is this lever right here, as you push it up, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you're moving that up and down, this spring here locks into holding it tight so that your deck bracket, I think that's what it's called, the arms that hold the whole thing into place. On ours, this bracket has broken off. So as you see the deck right here, the deck arms, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know the exact words, it's supposed to be down here, but it's not. Move these on each side. Remember, those are 10 millimeters. They're on both sides of the chair. Once you get that the tension here, you don't really necessarily have to take off the seat. Those are 15, but they're double-sided. So there's one on the bottom that's a black one that's underneath here, and you have to unplug the seat. Now what you can do next is take off your center cap here. You can just take a flathead, take off your center cap, and then you're going to have here in the middle, this would be a 19 millimeter. I like using Europe standards. I get confused with the US 11/16 over 13/27/60 to get the bolt off. So it's a 19 to take that off, take that bolt off, and then what you're going to do next is you have these screws right here to take off each one of these, and this will let this kind of free up for now. But you need to take off. So you need to take off bolt 1, and then 2, 3. Then we come along here is number 4 over there. All right. Then you're going to need to take off the front right there. Remove this cable for the throttle cable. And then you can move up. Remember to take all your switches off, disconnect those. Those are pretty simple down here. And then don't forget about this one. Remove this one. This one I think allows it to, the safety starter switch, I think that's what it's called. Remove that one also. And then your battery goes right here in the middle. Remove this, and then you remove the other one that's behind here. Then you can take these off. All right, so what I'm showing you here is the different items you need to unplug or unscrew. Here are the tie-on clips that you poke out and remove. Don't take those, don't cut those, just take them out like that. They're very easy to do. There's your ignition switch. A lot of the switches that you need to take off, just remove that off. And here's a lot of the other wires that you can just easily disconnect. There are more wires that you can disconnect, or you can do it reverse by looking at this by taking those off like I'm doing, or you can put them back on. But these are all the things you need to disconnect from the wiring harness, which is pretty simple. There's not a lot of them. So here's everything, in reverse. All right, so either way, if you're putting it on, taking it off, when you take this piece off here, all right, now you're going to need to disconnect the, this is the throttle. Okay, and there's a wire that travels underneath here, back around into there. You're going to need to take off. This is an 8 millimeter bolt right here, little teeny one. And take that off to let the tension off from this whole wire right there. Now you have this kind of unit here, which is to activate, see the yellow bar to turn on the blade. And this is what holds it on. It's two 10 millimeter bolts. That go on here, or nuts I should say, and you're gonna need one on the top, one on the bottom, and that also includes a spring that goes across here, that goes like this. If you guys can kind of see, it hooks onto here, and then you're gonna bring it around and put it back hooked onto there. But I can't do it with both hands, only one hand, I'm sorry, to put that on. So you can do the same thing with taking it off and putting it back on. You have to remove those. Now to remove that spring that's holding it on, that gives a little bit of tension for when you turn on the blades, you're just gonna grab onto the hook here, pull towards you, and it will come off like that. So it's pretty easy to do. All right, so it's pretty simple. Throughout here, you're basically just gonna disassemble all of this, and you have a lot of screws that are down in here on each side that needs to come off. Take some of the plates off that are here. It's pretty self-explanatory, nothing really hard, I would say, to remove these bolts right here. See if I can pan around to where I got them at. So this is how the bracket would be sitting, like facing towards the chair, and then the screws are down in, actually are down in here that you have to remove one by one. Those are the 10 millimeters, so it's pretty easy to take off. Then of course, you know, these are the side panels that go on the side here, and they have bolts that go off like that. Those are also, I believe, there's at 8 millimeters to take those off. Now, once you got all the screws off and the springs removed from in the center here, to get the rest of this, I'll just call it the frame off, I mean the top of this off the frame, you have one bolt that's right there. That's also a 10 millimeter that needs to come off, that's holding on there. So with that, all right, then you take your pedals off, and with these screws, this is a T30 screws that go in the sides here. So you just take a T30 and take these off, so that way that's free. All right, so after you unhook the seat, make sure you unhook the seat. You may have to unscrew the bolts on it to get the weight center off. All right, and you have to just pull it up throughout here, and then you can pull the whole frame off once you got all those. So coming in a little bit closer, you can see that the arm is all the way up here instead of in the mount place right there, and then that would be held in by the bracket that we're going to replace. Now I hope you guys can see, because we have the bolt that I took off right there, which is pointing right there, and then we have this one that needs to come off that's kind of snuggled in between there. So I'll just take that one off, and these are both 10 millimeters. They are broken, and also on the other side is broken too. So we just need to replace the this bracket right here. And all right, so got it on there, and then you just let it sit right there. So that's the new bracket, all complete with the spring unit right there. So here's what it looks like. That's the broken off pieces right here. Ridiculous. Then to let the tension off of this, all you have to do is bring the deck down. All right, not the bed, I'm sorry, the deck. Bring it down, sit it down, so you make sure your hooks are off. Then let this go back up. I'm not sure if you guys can see. Let that go back up because it's, you know, broken. And then pull the arm. If you can see, push it all the way back, and then you can take it off of here and then let the tension off, so that way you can adjust it properly on here. So once you got everything like this, now all you have to do is make sure you put the clips in this way. Hope you guys can see that. Put it in, lay it over top of there. Make sure you can see the holes on each side. Whoops, I messed up on that one. There we go. All right, there we go. And then now we can just install the screw. Here are the brand new screws I got. And these are just, remember, they're just 10 millimeter screws. All right, I don't know what the torque rating is for this. This information is very vague and hard to find, but I would say just torque it down or just snug it tight, you know, whatever you can do to making sure that it's on there nice and tight for the next time it breaks off, which it seems like it would do kind of easily with basically something like that. But anyway, I digress. So up next, we're just gonna put the spring back on, and it's usually at the bottom one right here, just in case you get a little bit lost, and it comes off. And this side will then go back into there. Back on here, and it should be at the one down here at the bottom, all right, facing towards this way, hooked onto there. Now once you pull it back up and it goes up here, like when the seat's installed, this should be back up to level 4, okay? And then when you're moving it down for a little bit resistance and then going to the slots like that, you know, moving it down will be to level 1. So this is pretty much how it should be. You want your brackets in place. So at this point, I did stop because we're basically finished. And if you want to put everything back together, this follow the reverse steps of everything that I just showed you. It's a time-consuming job, so you know, don't try to rush it. Put all your brackets back and all your connectors back. Tighten all your bolts up, and you should be good to go. I didn't show everything in here for a time reason, but hopefully this tutorial can save you a ton of money over going to the dealership. So happy mowing, you guys.